Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Highruler, and today's video is talking about Marvel's Avengers. Now, when we talk about Marvel's Avengers, guys, we got to break it down to three separate things for this video. Those being, of course, the roadmap, 2.4 and 2.5. Now, when it comes to the roadmap, if you guys are from Twitter, you saw that I tweeted that there is no development roadmap for Marvel's Avengers, and that's true. Instead of doing a long graphic that's going to tell you the next, 3, 4, even 12 months, what they are opting to do instead is similar to what we got today and what we got back in February, which is those development blogs, right? That kind of snip it into the next 1 to 2 patches in the future. And then ideally, what they do then is kind of build out a cadence of streams and other blogs to kind of drum up that hype for the next immediate update, right? So if you're someone who's been dying for the next roadmap, dying for that long form kind of graphic to tell you what is happening for the rest of the year, you're not going to get it. It's dead. It's not coming back seemingly right now. But of course, plans may change. So for all that roadmap talk, guys, it's over. We can kind of let it die with dignity at this point. So let's talk about 2.4 because that is the next immediate update. So 2.4, as Brian has teased on Twitter already, is of course that event refresh, because the way they explained it to the content creators was that events can somehow range from really good to like really poorly. So the idea is that every event will come up to a baseline standard, and then not just come to the baseline standard, but actually be refreshed. Now, the way they're doing that is by tying gear to the event completions, right? Now, there's three different things that we got to talk about here when it comes to events and the gear. So every event will have a thematic gear set tied to it, right? So for example, Corrupted Vibranium will have the Discordant Sound gear. Cosmic Event will have the Omega level gear. Now, for something like the Red Room Takeover, which already has a gear set tied to it, that's okay. That's not changing, right? Tachyon will then have the Tachyon gear. Now, to be honest with you, I forget what Ruskaya is going to have, so you're going to have to forgive me and read the blog for that one. But the idea is that every event will have a thematic gear set tied to it. There's no new gear, but what they're trying to do is take existing gear sets that are already in the game and give them another purpose with events, right? So the idea being is that if you play the Corrupted Vibranium event, right, you know that the end of it, when you complete that overarching mission chain, you're going to get Discordant Sound gear, right, which is really good. You don't have to play the raid for that. Now, you're also getting it for each character that's eligible for exotics at the end. Now, some events already do this, but now every single event will do that. So when you complete Corrupted Vibranium, for example, you will be getting Discordant Sound gear for every single hero that is able to do it. It makes gearing ults better, faster. It just is good at that point, right? Now, here's the next part of this, because I know this is going to be really interesting for a lot of you guys. Now, when you do the event, now, say for example, you're in that phase of trying to get to where you can access the elite raid, right? So you're doing your raids and your OLTs every week, right? Now, the actual event itself will reward you at the same cadence level that those do, right? So for example, if you're doing that, you have 2 options per week to kind of run per character, right? Once again, that's going to be the raid and the OLT. Now you can also add in the weekly event that'll be there, right? So when you're on that first week of the event and you're doing your raid, you're doing your royalty, you can also do your event. It's going to give you that higher power level gear. It's going to be the same as well to get to 160 to 175. If you're doing that elite raid grind, you can now also do the event, which will reward you power level increased gear. So once again, it is helping people kind of get to that 175 cap. And it's also helping people who don't even want to touch the raid. So for anyone who's been holding out, hoping that they don't have to do the raid, hold on just a little bit longer with 2.4 and you won't actually have to do the raid. So to me, that is a pretty good change when it comes to everything that they're doing with 2.4. 2.4 is currently scheduled for next month, but they don't have that kind of locked down yet in terms of when in the month it is coming, but it is currently scheduled for May. Now, let's talk about the big thing, right? Because a lot of you guys have been kind of looking behind me at that image, and I know you're dying for me to talk about it. Yes, that is Jane Foster. Yes, that is Mighty Thor. She is coming to Marvel's Avengers in 2.5. Now, there wasn't a lot of details given about Jane Foster in terms of anything to do with her moveset, abilities, or even the gear. Will the gear kind of change between her and Thor? Those details weren't kind of given to us at the time. They did say that a lot of that stuff would be given after 2.4. Now, but what they did say though is that yes, she is going to play pretty similarly to Thor. We don't really know how many animations might be reused. We don't really know a lot. What we do know though is that yes, it's going to be another Spider-Man like experience, right? So it is another hero event. There won't be any cinematics attached to it. We do know that they will have another comic animation tied to it. We don't know the artist of it yet, and we don't know when 2.5 is going to be. Though, with that being said, they did say that the time between 2.4 and 2.5 is going to be shorter than what we would expect. So, who knows when that would, kind of be, but it does seem like this has fallen in line with kind of the MCU stuff being announced. Of course, the trailer dropping yesterday with Thor Love and Thunder. So I would expect, kind of around the time the movie is going to be released, that we would definitely get our hands on Jane at that point, right? So with that being said, guys, that is pretty much everything that we have today about the next little bit of Marvel's Avengers. So let's recap. So the roadmap is dead. Instead of the roadmap, we will be getting more blogs like the one we got today, and hopefully more frequent communication about the short-term future. We also know that 2.4 is going to be kind of upgrading a lot of the events. No new events, but every single one is going to come back around. Gear is going to be tied to these events, and we do know that the path to power to 175 will be a part of these events as part of 2.4. That we don't know when it's coming, though. Now 2.5, we do know that is going to be Jane. It is going to be a hero event, not an operation, and we don't know a lot about her yet. A lot of the information will be given after 2.4. So there it is, guys. That is the next little update here for Marvel's Avengers. If you want more Marvel's Avengers coverage, let me know by liking the video, leaving a nice little comment, and subscribing to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time here. Enjoy the rest of your day and night. Take care of yourselves. Later, guys.